Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Chronicles of Captain Pontos, subtitled The Search for My Right Foot. This is our third episode in the current story arc, and in a moment I'm going to hand you over to our resident note taker and GM's pet, Kevin. Um, in the meantime, it's a bit of a weird day for us on the eastern side of the pond because today we just found out about the passing of our monarch. So it kind of slightly interrupted my preparation time. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Um,
She was a great leader. She was
yeah.
a brilliant queen.
Hmm. So feeling a little bit sad today, but we're gonna put a brave face on it and try and set the worlds to rights anyway. Um, okay.
The entire the entire mourning process is a week.
Well, it'll be 10, 12 days before the actual funeral, I think, and
Yeah.
and Parliament shut down again, which is
Ever open?
yeah, is it ever open? Does anyone there do any work even when it is open? Um, anyway, I should not cast too many aspersions on politics. Although I very much doubt any of my 23 subscribers are politicians.
To
But
be
anyway,
fair, to be fair, she was the first queen to ever have a female prime minister in the UK, and she had just registered the third.
yeah, I don't know if she had much influence on that though. And the sad thing is that those three female prime ministers have all been conservatives, which I feel is a sad thing. But anyway,
Yeah,
anyway, and
except for Labor. Okay, never mind. I won't say that.
I would like to see Angela Rayner in the chair, but I'm not going to say any more about politics. I'm going to hand over to Kevin and ask him to remind us what has gone before.
Okay. The last session started off very calm, collected, very sort of gentle running as Carrick decides to have a word with a god. Yeah, nothing too major, just nice, gentle bit going in there. As you do, and he speaks to Orcus. As you do, or at least a voice of Orcus or some representation. It seems that those coffin nails that converted him may have been created by another that may sort of either another god that either works alongside or parallel to him or underneath him. We'd have to do a bit more research of Unago, the but Orcus can't reverse the process, but he could accelerate it to its final conclusion and give Carrick all of the lovely abilities of that. And he got a little vial that would do this, and in doing so, the priest of the forgotten god, who was an underling of Orcus, passed away. So we moved very swiftly on from all of that. Carrick still contemplating his options with that. We met up in the tavern, going, okay, in the morning we'll get ourselves a crew and we can set off to try and start finding Pontos's cursed leg. When we just got this conveyor belt of NPCs that we have met in previous arcs in this campaign, from Hawklin, Carrick's colleague, friend, who's a wood elf. Got Tyr, who's a succubus. There's Scold, who is a Fire Genasi sorcerer. There was Fira, who's a half drow from the village of Kostroma over in Deep's lovely neck of the woods in Pentagon. And they all seem to have these letters asking them to rushed over to meet us, and once we all realised they all had the same letters, we started getting a little bit suspect that someone is pulling the strings, maybe some divine being that has power above all gods, also known as a DM. And then shortly after that, Tyr appeared, who is another devil, higher ranked than. No, Tyr had that. I'm sure someone else arrived with the Paris as well, and we realised, okay, this is our crew now. We loaded up with provisions for the ship, and we set off. And as we set sail, we got a little bit out. We saw some nice sparkly bits in the water, and it turns out to be they were the distractions of some dire anglerfish that like to eat cannons. So very, very quickly, our ship was disarmed, and a few of us are now fighting internally in some of these creatures.
Oh, very good. Thank you for that. If you do not have inspiration, please give yourself inspiration. Also, if anybody else ever wants to volunteer, I do tend to ask Kevin to do it, but then Kevin keeps notes, so he is usually able to give us a pretty accurate recollection of the previous session. But if anyone else wants to volunteer, then please go ahead for next time. Okay. So, as Kevin so rightly said, you are mid-battle in an all but defenceless ship. Your ship, of course, is the Conflagration. And in the night, you were set upon by Dire Anglerfish. Let's see what kind of view we get. Oh, I'm going to have to move the screen. I'm going to try and zoom out a bit, aren't I? I'm trying to improve the view, because last time I don't think I did a very good job with the camera last time. There we go. I'd love to be able to centre that, but sadly you can't move the thing from side to side. Not normally, anyway. So yes, we find ourselves mid-battle. We will resume momentarily with Kararuk, who is at the lead of the turn order, but just want to remind you that Pontos is in the water. Tyr and Char are both in the bellies of dire anglerfish who have swallowed them. The same anglerfish have also swallowed all 4 of your ship's cannons, which they seem to do with great relish. But yes, let's resume our battle. On to Kararuk, who is currently standing on the deck under the sails, hiding like the brave rogue that he is.
Brilliant. Okay, so I do have a cunning plan that may or may not work. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to cast a spell.
He's going to cast a spell. And what spell will that be?
I don't know if a big dragon picture's just come.
What? A big dragon picture?
Hmm.
Oh dear God, I've just realised we're going to have to change all the money.
Yes.
That's only just literally come to my head. All the coins.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'll happen immediately. I think it'll probably happen as it naturally turns over. Sorry, Kararuk, you say there's a big dragon?
There's a big dragon on my screen.
Where?
Right on my screen.
Give us a ping. Can anyone else see a big dragon?
Yeah.
I beastie. Is it an enlarged version of one of the things we're fighting?
It's a dragon with fire, but it's gone now. It's not that.
It's gone.
Anyway, back to my spell casting.
What's it gonna be?
I'm going to cast this
Ooh,
on-
okay.
on a creature.
Right, let me have a quick read. 30-foot cone. Let me give you a 30-foot cone. Are you going... Oh, give us an idea which one you're shooting at.
This one's got char. Money. Char out.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second. Char, you don't like ice, do you? And you don't like water either?
He doesn't like
I'm-
anything. He's a fragile soul, is Char.
I'm living the dream. This is all fine. This is not a problem. I am doing my little happy dance as you asked these questions.
Nice.
Do you think Char hates more, ice or water?
Yeah, I'm going to have to dive in and help him out in a minute. So I was
Right.
down here, so I'm going to run up so and make sure I've got. I can get up there. That's fine.
So you could do that, or if you're moving somewhere else.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to get this beastie.
Okay. So, a burst of cold energy emanates from you in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d8 cold damage and is hindered by ice formations for 1 minute, or until another creature within reach of it uses an action to break away the ice. A creature hindered by ice has its speed reduced to 0. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't hindered by ice. So, the important thing then is whether or not there will be a save, and whether or not this burst of cold energy will affect something that has been swallowed by the fish.
It'll be nice and warm wherever Char is, because I'm going to be inside the fish.
He's going to be inside a frozen fish. I reckon that, well, I first of all am going to do a constitution save for the fish.
Remember all those fireballs, Char?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be enormously damaging, but
It's the hindering.
okay, he has passed his save, which means he's going to take half damage. I am going to get Char to also take a constitution save, but he can take his constitution save with advantage because he is somewhat insulated by the body of the fish.
Oh, come on, man. Have you not seen Star Wars? He's inside the Tauntaun.
He's inside he's inside a fish in the water. There we go, he's passed anyway, so he's only going to take a tiny 5 points of cold damage.
So, my next question. Fish are cold-blooded as well. And
Yes.
if you get a cold fish that's cold, it slows down quite a lot as well. And this fish is cold now.
Well, it's not that cold because it's obviously quite tough. You see, this fish is used to the cold water and therefore is less affected by a cold attack than a hot-blooded fishy. Aha! There we go. Out logicked you.
The thing's a hot-blooded fish, though.
They're called dolphins,
That's a mammal.
Yeah.
but they're hot-blooded.
I would say that fish that are used to swimming in cold waters have basically antifreeze for blood, don't they? They're actually incredibly good at surviving cold conditions.
Technically, the bottom of the sea is so cold that it should actually freeze, but it's only because of the high quantity of salt that it doesn't.
Oh, and the pressure of the weight of the water above it keeps it liquid as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And these
Yeah.
guys live at the bottom, they'll be fine.
Yeah. So I'm afraid there's not going to be any enhanced effect on this fish.
So-
Nice try though.
Right. Then I'm going to go here and hide under my...
Sorry, Michael. What was that?
Well, it's stuck for a minute, isn't it?
No,
Only if it
Mark,
fails the save, and it passed the save.
I shot with sneak attack may have been a better, but I like the go of just trying to mobilise it.
Yeah.
That was a try. Alright, then I'm going under the seal and hiding.
Cool. Okay, this dire anglerfish here. So it sees Pontos in the water. So I think it's going to swim over to Pontos. And go, ha ha! And it's going to see if it can bite you. Now why? You are blessed. That's fine. Why have you got a fist on you? Is that because you were previously grappled? This is where I look to the chat to see whether I wrote myself any notes to remind myself what happened last week, which I sometimes do. This time I may have forgotten to do that. Okay. I'm going to assume that that was because you were grappled by the fish, and because you are now out of the fish, you aren't grappled anymore. This one is just going to take a little nibble. With advantage. Tasty swimming tidbits. Okay.
These things are just absolutely owning us. They were doing this last week as well.
Right, so you have been swallowed by the dire anglerfish. So I'm going to put that grapple marker back on you.
Grateful I'm not fighting over you and pull you to pieces.
Well, you never know. The other one might be outraged that he's had his meal taken away from him. Okay, so the dire anglerfish sweeps in, takes a nibble, and well, where does he go next? I think he might kind of just swim this way a bit. There we go. Then we move on to deep.
I could have sworn I summoned the spiritual weapon last week.
You may have done. I bet we could find it in the chat if we look for it.
Right, and obviously I know you did bless, but that's...
Let me see if I can find
I
it.
did bless on round 1 and the spiritual weapon on round 2, but...
Okay, well, that sort of rings a bell, because we haven't done a lot of fighting in this campaign so far, and I could swear the Mighty Mayonnaise came out at some point. So
I guess I'll just hit summon and give myself this spell slot back.
yeah, make sure it actually deducts it, because I discovered in one of the games I have that it doesn't. Let's see. I think I've just worked out why. I think I've just worked out what the problem is. It's because I've changed the artwork over, you see. And
Oh yeah. Now that I summoned it, I see 2 copies.
oh, that's weird. Okay. I'm going to drag the Mighty Mayonnaise onto the map. And put it over here. And what I need to do... where should it be?
Right there.
Right there. Okay, so that it actually isn't... Let's see. Because I'm in the process of changing the way things get summoned.
Well,
But
I think
but
it's
you...
good enough for right now.
Yeah, yeah. You have the spiritual weapon attack button on your character sheet, don't you? In the future, it will be on the thing itself, but at the moment, we just have the visual representation. So it's there. We got it. Right. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, mate. Oh, nice.
Awesome. Okay.
That was a hearty smack there. Very nice.
And then for my main action, there it is. Haha! Champion of the deep,
Very good.
and that is it for me.
Cool. Okay, the dire anglerfish dies and kind of turns over in the water and is just floating on the waves. Excuse me, at the moment. Let's move on to the next dire anglerfish. This dire anglerfish has char in its belly, and that means that char, having been eaten, is about to take 5d6 points of acid damage in the belly of the creature. So this is going to be could have been much worse. And then that dire anglerfish is just going to swim around the nose of the ship and sort of start coming back the other way. It doesn't really have anyone else to attack, and it's already got a whole adventurer in its gut. That one is dead, so he doesn't get a go. Now we move on to Pontos.
Oh, I'm in the belly of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I will cut my way out of the belly.
Okay.
Do I have disadvantage?
How did we do this last week? You can't see, but anywhere you swing your weapon, you're going to hit a bit of dire anglerfish, aren't you? So I think you probably have advantage, to be honest. Or at the very least, I don't know. Actually, though, you might be somewhat impeded by being squashed up inside.
Can't exactly get a lot of room to swing it.
There's not much room to swing. Yeah. Let me see if it actually says anything in the notes, cause that would be helpful, wouldn't it? When you use custom beasties. Dun dun dun. Technically, you are blinded and restrained.
Okay.
I think. Is that right?
Disadvantage.
Condition. Definitely blinded because you can't see. Can't see. Automatically fails ability checks that require sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. You have total cover, of course, because you are inside a creature. And you are restrained. So, condition of restrained means... I think all it means is you can't go anywhere. Restrained creature speed becomes 0 and it can't benefit from any bonus speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Okay, I'm afraid that because you are blinded and restrained, you are at disadvantage. So ignore what I said earlier about it being easy to hit the inside of a fish when you've been swallowed by it. I didn't think it through. Not bad.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Are you gonna do another one in there?
Oh yes. So I'm gonna try and fist my way out.
Good hits.
Yeah, you do enough damage from the inside of the creature that it has no choice but to vomit you out. So, I'm going to pick a random direction with a D8, and then you will be in the water. Technically, you will be prone, but I don't think that means a great deal in the water. So we'll ignore the prone condition for now. There we go. Vomited out by the second anglerfish to eat you. You'd think they might learn their lesson.
Isn't whale vomit meant to be super valuable?
Yeah, it is.
Is
The
that...
question is, who was the first person to actually try putting that into her? Yeah.
Or something. And ambergris.
Yeah, that's really valuable, isn't it? Isn't it more valuable than gold?
Something. Yeah.
But I think because whaling is banned, it's probably even more valuable than it was before.
Well, what's so valuable to it? I don't quite understand.
It's used as an ingredient in posh perfumes, isn't it? But I don't know. It's like musk actually comes from an animal, People think of it as just being the smell of your perfume, but actually it's an ingredient extracted from an animal. Anyway, you are free. I don't think you will get to move on this turn, though. But you can swim on your next turn. On to Char.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for Operation Heartburn.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So I tried this last week and rolled absolutely dire, but I again with my wand of fireballs, I am just shooting something further into the guts to just try and blast this thing.
Pew! Okay.
Wouldn't it be the more you get the more you get into digestive tract, the more explosive it will get?
That's an interesting thought.
It's 30 damage with a dexterity of 15. I'm trying for the heartburn here. I'm trying for the heartburn.
So, I don't think that you can do a dexterity save to avoid an explosion inside your body, so I'm just going to apply the damage. That is more than enough damage to get him to vomit you out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five on a star of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's south. Yeah, okay. It just feels like it ought to be 6 because it's 6 on a clock. But yeah. So, Char is splooshed out of the innards of the Dire Anglerfish.
This is just such a pleasant day. Someone kill these beasts. And that's all I can do.
Okay. On to another Dire Anglerfish. What's it gonna do? It might try and pluck somebody off the deck.
Well, one of them's actually got scald in her mouth inside her, so...
Oh, Tear's inside one, yeah.
Is it Tear? Yeah, I knew one of them. I can't see them on my map, so I know one of them was swallowed.
So, let's have a look. Oh dear. Okay. So that's another member of the crew swallowed.
You sure these things haven't just been set to automatically get 19 or higher on any dice?
I wouldn't know how to do that. Well, I mean, I could do that, but it would always be the same dice roll then. Yeah, it is rolling different numbers. They're just coming out rather on the high side. On to Borin. What's Borin gonna do?
Okay, well, I've only got one round left in this clip, so
I think you've got 3, because you only fired 3 times last session. I think.
Yeah, it only holds 5, doesn't it?
6.
6. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter. I will. These arrows aren't making much of a dent. Also, we completely forgot about how my brooch of bleeding on, and I'm not sure if that works for ranged weapons like crossbows.
Let me just review my review the text, because I think in my mind I was imagining that it would probably be melee attacks.
Why I'm going to go for next thing if you say yes.
Fell magic in this exquisite brooch causes wounds inflicted by the wearer to bleed profusely. The afflicted creature must take a DC 14 con save. To be fair, it does not actually specify whether that has to be a melee or a ranged attack. So, I am going to let you run with it.
Okay. Well, we've already forgot. The one that was going to be bleeding is already dead. So I'm just gonna sling my crossbow onto my back, pull out Frenchie.
Aha, mon ami, I am ready for action. Ha
Are these the right type for me? Can I ping them?
Oh, let me look at those for you with my radar vision. Oh no, no, mon ami. These are dire anglerfish. They are unaligned. They are no good at all to the 9 hells.
It doesn't matter. I am going to Captain Jack Sparrow the Kraken, pull out Frenchie, boom, cold foot, go straight in to this one, screaming, getting its attention, and lopping it at its head.
Are you going to jump into the water?
Tell you what, that's what Borin would do. I'm leaping onto its head.
Okay.
Okay, and I am going to action surge, so I'm going to get 4 attacks on him.
Ouch. Okay, make sure you don't hit Fira. Make sure you aim for the outside edge of the token.
I have a slight problem. I can't hit the token unless I'm landing on her.
Well, you should just be able to hit one of the outer edges of the token.
Well, I've pressed something. I don't know if it's gonna hit.
Well, find out in a minute, I guess.
Right, I'm cursed and blessed at the same time. I don't know what to do for this input value.
You don't have to do anything. It will do it automatically.
Okay, so just nothing.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and again. Arctic, attack standard. And numbers. And 3. Oh, come on, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Number 4. Damn.
You did it a lot of damage. It is looking very, very unwell.
I'm still holding on to its head, hacking away.
Yeah, its little light bulbs are whipping about, and it's kind of going. Rah! It doesn't have the ability to make loud noises because it doesn't need to underwater. So it just kind of screams a silent scream in fish.
Crashing around whilst I'm holding on to it. Ah.
Yeah. Oh, so we must remember you have hit it 4 times.
I have hit it 4 times.
So that means it will have blood drops 4.
If it fails.
And when do we take the test? I think we take the test on its turn. But I'm just
at the
gonna.
end of its turn, I believe.
Yeah. So it will be on. It'll take D8 bleed damage if it fails a DC 14 con save at the end of its next turn. So, and the more you hit them, the higher the dice rolls get. So we move on to the dire anglerfish that has Tyr inside it.
I've got this one handled. The finish off, defend the rest of the crew.
Oh yeah.
So Tyr, of course, is going to do what she does best. Yep, I don't know how that worked. But she managed to do a succubus's kiss on the inside of the fish, causing it loads of psychic damage there. So
Causing me loads of
Don't you
psychic
dare, Carrie! I am seeing that. Don't you bloody dare!
what's that?
I need to get a kill.
It's right. There's one right in front of you eating on char.
Look, yeah, the one by me is probably on fumes as well.
Yeah, but
Also,
just be
can you
funny
see-
because it's.
I mean,
like,
I'm up
Well,
on
yeah,
the top
there is.
deck. I'm up a flight of steps and like the sails are in the way. 2 sets
Yeah.
of sails are in the way.
He could walk along the side of the boat.
And somersault around his tails.
Okay, so the dire anglerfish that just got snogged is swimming away, kind of sad and confused. On to Kararuk.
Oh, decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to come out of my hiding place. And using my funky longbow. La, 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 la. Where's it gone? There we go. Going to attack that. No, bardic no. Plus one of this. Sneak attack, yes.
Well, he's gone for a moment.
Just
Here's good.
taking shots so close.
I don't know why this keeps happening. We keep getting Discord crashing, don't we? That happened last week a couple of times. Hopefully,
There you don't.
can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Good, good. Okay, why am I vibrating?
That's an
Best not to answer that question. Right, good job.
Have you got that special underwear on or something with the remote control?
What's that? I have no idea what that is. That sounds very exciting, though.
Um,
Hello again.
hello there.
So that is the second time in as many minutes that Discord has given out. Let's hope that that is the end of it. The dire anglerfish is blooded by Dampier Kararuk's shot with the leaf steel longbow +1.
Oh, it's still not dead. Oof.
As he does that, out of the roiling sea fog appears another boat. You can hear the ropes and the wood straining as another boat appears. It is clearly smaller than your vessel. It looks like some kind of fishing boat, if anything. As it kind of appears out of the fog, you hear these voices saying, "Quickly! Deploy the Fairwick lanterns! Aye, Captain! Deploying the lanterns!" And on the prow of the ship, suddenly this glowing pink light appears. It looks a bit weird the way the different lights are interacting with each other, but it's kind of a glowing pinkish red light. I am going to move on from Kararuk. This is a somewhat damaged dire anglerfish. I'm going to see whether it spots anything. Dun, 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 dun. Perception. Yeah. So this fish disengages and begins swimming towards the new vessel. Onto deep.
Okay, time for some murder. The old mighty mayonnaise is gonna. I don't seem to be able to select the mayonnaise anymore.
No, that is a different mayonnaise. That is literally just the token I've dragged onto the map. Oh, here we go again. Oh.
In today, is it, Joe?
No. And this is nothing to do with me. I have no control over the crashings of Discord. Still.
How affecting the video?
It won't affect the video because the video is on OBS. So,
Ah!
Damn you!
very good.
I'm what what they call a kill-stealing yoink.
A kill-stealing yoink indeed, sir.
I so should have done that when I had the chance.
Well, okay. So what happens to me, and what happens to the poor person stuck inside?
Well,
You're getting wet.
the person inside is launched out and splashes into the water. Borin also falls in the water, so you are definitely in the water.
Can I not make an attempt to try and leap back onto the boat?
Definitely not. It's at least 10. It's way above you. You were on the high back end of the ship, and you dive down onto the top of the fish. So
Can I mean to go through one of the windows on the lower deck?
Far too perilous.
I mean, you can roll it if you like, but the DC will be obscenely and ridiculously high.
What skill do you want? Acrobatics?
Yep.
Come
Is it a
on,
chance of doing an acrobatic somersault and banging his head on the ship and knocking himself out?
I would say that there's at least a 50% chance of that. Okay, so you land in the water.
Damn it!
Sploosh! And there's blood everywhere. Obviously, that blood is being washed away by the water, but we can't get Roll20 to do that, sadly. Right, that was Deep's turn. That was a pretty high value sort of round there. What with that massive 30 hit?
Damn.
Wow,
36 from that spiritual weapon.
68.
36 from the spiritual weapon.
Yeah, I can.
So, I'll get with you later, John. I think it's supposed to be 2d8.
Yeah, it is. So that is supposed to ask you what level you're casting the spell at.
And I selected 4th level, but maybe it's set up. So the way it works is 2nd level 1d8, 4th level 2d8. But I think maybe it's set up so that if you choose 4th level, it adds 2 more d8. So next time I cast it, I'll select 3rd level, even though it's a 4th level slot.
Yes, I will work that out. So, I mean, would that... I think... Oh! Would that fish have been alive? I don't think he would. He had so little health left that I think that's possibly just the Blessed Strike damage might have done for him. Yes, I don't know what happened there, but we will fix that at some point. I will add that to my to-do list if I remember. But yes, that was Deep's turn. So we move to a different Dire Anglerfish that begins to ignore Char and swims towards a lantern on the prow of the ship. It seems to be extremely excited by this bright, shiny, sparkly light, and it leaps out of the water as if to try and mount the lantern. When this happens, you hear a thunderous crack, and a 2-meter long harpoon is launched off the deck of the ship. Pierces straight through the Dire Anglerfish, which is flapping on the harpoon, and then you can kind of hear the hauling of ropes through pulleys, and the fish is hoisted up and is hanging off the mast of the ship.
One down.
Yeah, and you can kind of hear the crew kind of going, "Yay, we got one! Ah, let's get some more." Right, so
These things?
okay. That's lined up again. Sorry, what was that? What was that, Nate?
Do they eat these?
You can eat
Oh.
eels.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that dire anglerfish is done for. We are on to Pontos.
Can I swim over to there?
To where?
Oh, to here. Sorry.
Yes. Hold on. What's your movement speed?
30, I think.
30.
I think.
Do you have a? Yeah. If you. Can you swim? That is the question. Because some things give you a swim speed, don't they?
They do.
We don't know if you got anything that gives you a swim speed. Except for the fact you're a pirate. Does a pirate get a swim speed?
Well, one of his legs is wooden.
Well, I mean there is
Trying
that,
to
but
swim.
he's still got 3 limbs to swim with. I just
I think I might just swim towards the boat and get on the boat, to be honest.
okay. So yeah, normally if you do not have a swim speed, then your speed through water is half of your walking speed. So you can definitely swim towards the boat, but you probably won't get all the way there yet.
But as far as I can get.
Okay. Right, on to Monsieur Char.
Okay. You see just around him, just some of that water start to steam and just very slightly broil as I take flight out of this disgusting foul substance. And right, the only eel I can see is the one that just got stole off me by those fishermen. So I'm gonna have to try and see if I can find another fish. So let's that. So
So,
15, 20, 25, 30. I can see this one now. There you are. So I'm going to just point out and just lay into it with a couple of my Eldritch blasts on this thing, because I've had enough of these bloody fish. And
On this bloody ocean.
Oh no!
sounds about right.
A return to form.
I hate this bloody ocean. In fact, I'm going to use my inspiration to re-roll that, because otherwise I just keep forgetting to use it.
Okay.
So let's ballsy up a second time. At least a hit, and now I'm gonna do my second shot. So that was 25, and then I'll just go back 30. And yeah, it's just like you just see me just skimming across the top of this water now. Just normally I'm trying to look presentable. At the moment, I am wet. I am covered in this slime, blood, a little bit of the burning. I am just in a foul mood at the moment, and that's me done.
Cool. Floating demon Char shows his ire to the fishes. On to Borin.
Okay. Do I need 2 hands for my crossbow?
Yep.
I would say yes. Yeah, it's a heavy crossbow, so if you try and hold it with one hand, it would be a pretty poor show, probably.
Okay, so if I use my pickaxe in my left hand, bang it into the wall of the ship so I don't sink, and do it like that. So use my left arm on my elbow whilst it's holding the pickaxe and then shoot.
Well, first of all, you could give us an attack roll with the war pick.
I mean, I'm in a lot of heavy armor. I don't think I can swim that well. I'm clicking on my character and nothing is happening. That's because I'm on measuring tape. Okay. Heavy crossbow. Hand axe. I do not have.
It'll be under W. It's under W for war pick.
There it is.
But you'll have to.
What am I choosing to attack?
You might have to do it the old-fashioned way and do it off the front of the character sheet because.
But I just don't want to drown. I'm in heavy armor. I'd probably sink like a stone.
Yeah, you'd probably have. Well, disadvantage on swim checks, but we haven't spanked Pontos with that one, so. But either way, if you are desperate to shoot from the water,
I'm desperate not to drown.
So.
Put a big hole in the side of the boat.
Yeah, the pick, the tip of the pick, which I'm guessing is probably at least a foot long, goes. It finds a sweet spot between two planks. It goes through tar, and pitch, and goes. It opens up a nice wide gap just above the water level, or just about level with the water level, in the arse end of the ship.
I'm not that stupid. I'm above the water line. Okay.
Well, yeah, but in the sea, the water moves, you know.
It's not going to come in that fast, right?
Well, at the moment, the pick is jammed between a couple of planks. It seems to be fairly solid there. So, yes, the war pick is definitely solidly hammered into the arse end of the ship.
I'm not gonna
Sorry?
I'm not going to drown.
Yep, you can hold on to the war pick. You could possibly try and climb up the war pick even, and I don't know, stand on it or something, or you could.
Or climb through the hole made by the war pick into the boat.
No, I'm happy here just bobbing. I just want to do one elbow shot because I've used an attack to make sure I don't drown. I really should only get one shot at the with the heavy crossbow.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I don't know. I think this might be a disadvantage anyway because I don't know. I'm not sure what that pick is going to do to help you really.
Well, it's so I'm doing that. So that's where the crossbows on my left are.
All right, so you're gonna hold onto the pick with one hand and then try and shoot. You balance it on your arm, and definitely with disadvantage. Emphatically with disadvantage.
I'm kind of double. Like you've seen movies when they do that.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to shoot like that, especially on the sea, on a boat being tossed by the waves. Yeah. I don't know. You might hit it. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Long range disadvantage. There you go.
Blimey. Okay.
It takes a wound, and therefore it's got to take a bleeding shot. And that's it. That's my turn. Oh, actually, no. I have movement. Can I try and pull myself up? I mean, I've got a lot of boat to climb.
You have quite a lot of boat to climb. You can try and pull yourself up onto the pick, and kind of use it like a foothold. Some sort of climb check for that.
Okay. I mean, I can't remember. I could use my other hand axe as another climbing pick. Just hold.
Yeah, I mean, if you can use, well, I think probably an axe might have a little point on the back, especially if you're a dwarf and you might do a bit of mountaineering. So, yeah, you can try and climb up. Give us a strength athletics check to try and climb up onto the back side of the boat.
Strength's going to be better than athletics, isn't it?
Well, strength athletics will be better than acrobatics. Yeah, I assume that's what you meant.
No guidance. Stand sail. It's a skill check, isn't it? 23.
Borin enters the shadows. Okay, well we'll take the roll.
Oh,
You would
sorry,
probably you would have had a much higher. I think you would have had a much higher
yeah.
bonus than that from strength because you have strength 20 something. Strength 20, I don't know. But anyway, you would have had a 5 and you'd probably have had proficiency, so you would probably have had 7. So yeah, you probably would have got 27 out of that. So yes, you manage using the pointy bits on your hand axes and by standing on your war pick to climb probably about halfway up the back end of the ship.
Is there a window, or do I have to go all the way to the top?
Oh, that's a question. There are windows, but you are slightly below them at the moment. So you are near you are just below the little balcony, which allows you to get into the cabin at the back.
Okay, that's my next move. But
Cool.
that's it for my turn.
Okay, this dire anglerfish notices the pinkish glow and seems to vibrate with excitement, and it dashes off. You think it might even have just tried to shoulder barge its way past the other anglerfish. It does a Constitution save of DC 14. It fails, which means that it takes 1d3 points of bleed damage. It takes 1 extra point of damage from its crossbow wound, which continues to jet its strange pale fishy blood into the water. Just before we move on to Karuruk, another boat appears, and it too has a strange bright lantern at its prow. You can hear the voices of the people on the boat. They're all sort of, I don't know, they might be doing some kind of fishing chant, you know, like, I don't know, like people fishing do. I've just realised that my sails are transparent and you can see the water through them. I'm going to fix that. But yes, another boat appears and it has another brightly coloured lantern at the prow. We move on to Karuruk. Ahoy there!
Ahoy, me hearties.
Arr! What are you doing out in the storm like this without lanterns?
You have to ask our illustrious Captain Pontos.
Pontos! I've heard that name before. Is that the crazy lad who thought his leg was bit off by some kind of sea monster?
That's the one.
Right. Right, well, we'll deal with these big fishes and then we'll talk all about it.
Fun. And I'm going to run to the side over here. I'm going to unhide because I want to get an arrow away before these things. Okay. Boom. I'm looking at Pontos thinking we're going to have a really interesting conversation about your leg in a minute.
Yeah, I might cut his leg off. He's not care.
Hooray!
Nice.
Still.
Ooh, awesome. Then I'm just going to try and get a rope or something. See, oh, actually, I don't need to. Char's flying, any. Alright, I'm just going to wander down here. That'll be me done.
Okay. Then onto this dire anglerfish, which is making a beeline towards the lantern. Onto deep. You could use the mighty mayonnaise to knock everyone off the back and into the water.
That would be in my nature, but I don't know. It sounds like this dire anglerfish is gonna kill itself, but what the hell? I'll go for it. That is it for deep.
Cool.
I can't believe we're rooting for the whale hunters.
They're carrying out very important experiments. This current experiment is exactly how many cans of cat food can this one whale make?
Yep. Something like that.
Yeah, it was quoting Terry Pratchett on that one.
Oh, that's Good Omens, isn't it? Or something like that. It's like, oh, yeah. The scientific research vessel trying to discover how many whales a scientific research vessel can catch, or some such. Right, Pontos.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I just crawl back up on the boat first?
You can start climbing up the back if you like. Let's see. Borin is about halfway up. He's just below the balcony. Fira is trying to follow up after him. You can try and race him to the top if you like.
Can I just dash to try and get myself up?
Sorry?
I've made a hole for you. Use them.
Can I dash to get up? Or do I need
So
to roll?
I mean, you can dash, but you're climbing, so you can use your action to climb after using your movement to move.
Okay.
So yeah, strength athletics to climb up the back.
Do I like flip onto the deck?
not with a 13. I tell you what.
There's a 22.
Yeah, I know, but you rolled a 13 on the dice. If you'd rolled a natural 20, then, well, Borin rolled a natural 20 to make a hole in the deck. But he did actually roll a natural 20, and I only let him get as high as the balcony. So, so you do start to climb up, hindered only slightly by the fact that you decide not to use Borin's war pick to climb up. It's like, oh, I don't need your war pick. Oh, maybe I did need your war pick. What's that?
Oh yeah, you've got claws. You're an orc. You are half orc. You've got claws, haven't you?
He's got magic evil claws as well.
Yeah.
Right, on to Char.
Okay. Well, hopefully he might attack me. I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to just give him a zap with some shocking grasp, and also that way I can hear the noise because I haven't heard that for a while.
Oh.
And
Very good. 14. That was nearly maximum. Good job.
I'll just, while he's now thrashing the water a little bit, I'm just going to glide away and just shout out, "Don't forget our cannons are inside those fish. Make sure we get them back." And that'll be it for me.
Okay. On to Borin.
these corpses floating in the sea, by the way? I've got to retrieve my bolts at some point from these things.
In the sea?
Well, no, they're impaled into the fish, aren't they? If they've hit, all of mine have hit.
Well, I would not assume that you'll be getting any bolts back from things you've shot in the sea at the moment.
Okay, now that I was just curious. Also, you know, if they sink, we can't really get the cannons back from what they've hit. Although, from what I've just seen about the how much damage the cannons can do, they're not really doing much help anyway.
They're just kind of a leftover from a previous adventure, really, aren't they? You killed Tawatama, the giant shiny crab with them. What's his name? Well, back in the day. Anyway.
Okay, do I have to do a check to pull myself up through the window?
Well, over the balcony rail, I would say that you are almost certain to succeed. But just for the sake of humour, why not roll a climbing check anyway? Strength athletics.
Roll a 1. Roll a 1. Roll a 1.
It is sufficient. It is sufficient. I was giving you even odds there. So you managed to haul yourself onto the balcony, which is just above halfway down the back of the boat. There's a little door. You can go through the door. The door will bring you out on the deck of the ship. So...
I'm actually just going to go downstairs and plug the hole I just made in the ship.
Okay. So...
And then start hammering with nails in the bit of wood.
I'm assuming you pulled the pick out then?
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
I'm a dwarf miner. I'm not leaving my axe to just be embedded in the back of the ship.
Yeah, Hawk Lane is screaming, "We're taking on water! What happened? Was it enemy fire?"
Nothing, and then just so I'll spend the rest of my turn running downstairs.
Oh, again?
Yeah, I will spend the rest of my turn just hammering in the nails, some wood and some nails, and then just these. Pushing a large box in front of it.
Okay. Right, a new round begins. However, most of the... well, one would hope that most of the fighting is done. You do notice that new lures appear in the water near the lanterns. Quite a lot of them. You've seen what a few anglerfish can do. So the fact that there's more is somewhat unnerving. However, this final dire anglerfish leaps up to try and mount the lantern and is shot out of the air by a massive harpoon and dragged by men on the deck up so that it hangs off the top of the mast. And there are a few dire anglerfish hanging from the masts of this fishing ship here. And I'm going to say the fight for now is over. The danger is pretty much past. But it is with some growing admiration possibly that you see the fishermen in these small boats, which are to an extent hidden by the shadows and the glare of their strange lanterns. You see them catching, 6, 7, 8 dire anglerfish apiece. They're just, shooting them with harpoons, dragging them up through their pulleys and hanging them off the top of the masts. And yeah, they're doing it. They're very efficient. They're doing it by the numbers. They are fishing for dire anglerfish using lantern lures. It is quite impressive to watch. And then when their work is done, when they feel like they are not getting any more anglerfish coming, probably because the anglerfish blood in the water is putting off fresh anglerfish, they decide that they again.
He's back.
Damn it! Again! Right, during the break what I might do is close Discord and reopen it again and see if that helps. Because it seems to be staying active and then just... I don't know what it's doing anyway. But yes, they are catching lots of dire anglerfish. They catch quite a few, and then after a little while, the blood in the water is putting off the dire anglerfish. They can tell that their own kind are getting massacred, and eventually the sailors of these unusual ships turn off their lanterns and haul them back on board, and then they draw up alongside so they can have a chat with you.
Right, we need to get our cannons back. Oh, don't forget pictures, John. Don't forget profile pictures.
Right. Well,
There is a strange irony in how these fishermen are catching anglerfish.
indeed. Maybe zoom a bit. Why didn't you send that to me instead of putting it in the chat?
Sorry.
It would certainly... Anyway. I can zoom in a bit, but then we'll start cutting the edges off. But anyway. Okay, that brings us approximately to the halfway point. So this seems as good a point as any to have a brief comfort break. During the break, I will try and diagnose what's wrong with Discord. We had the same problem last week. I don't know if it's something... I updated OBS last week, and I updated it this week, but OBS and Discord are not connected in any way that I know of. So I don't know what the problem is, but I will try and fix it, and I will catch you guys at approximately 10 past 10.
No worries.
See you then.
See you in a bit.
Just
And welcome back. If I push this button, hopefully we will get the front screen back. Sadly, it has started the awards early. Let's get rid of that. So we have been having some exciting conversations in the break about cross-continental political whatsits, which was very exciting. We've set the world to rights. We're gonna send a letter to the world leaders and let them know what our conclusions were, and soon the world will be a much better place.
You're all idiots. We want new ones. That's what we should send them.
Yeah. We're gonna say you ought to be better people, and they'll look at that and they'll go, we really should, and all the problems in the world will be solved in one go.
Everyone starts holding hands and just singing "We Are the World."
Oh, I've changed my mind. I'm not doing it. Anyway, enough of this madness. We have recently dealt with an attack of terrifying dire anglerfish, which are huge creatures that leap out of the water, snatch cannons off the decks of ships, and eat anybody that they can try and get their massive mouths onto. And the crew of the conflagration have seen a couple of little fishing boats come along and start harpooning them out of the air and stringing them up on their masts. You see a chap on the deck of one of the ships. I will put him there just so that you know where he is. I like my women like I like my at the top of my pole. Okay. Very good. Where's he gone? I've got him in here somewhere. He's in my He's in my NPC folder. Right, where is he? Fisherman Captain. There we go. I'm going to put him down there on the deck. Just put him on the wrong layer though. Here we go. And then his friend is going to be on the deck of the other ship. And we're going to have another chap here who is also going to be on this ship next to the captain. Although he doesn't glow. So, an enormous man pictured with a big grey fish over his shoulder and a big trident in one hand. He looks a bit like that. You can imagine that's what he'd look like if he was taking the Dire Anglerfish down and throwing it overboard onto the dock or something so that it could be taken away and cleaned and cut up and stuff. He says, "Ahoy there, mateys! What brings you to these waters? It's very dangerous here, and we cannot but notice that you don't have any lanterns."
Well, sir, my friend is missing his foot, and we think it's out here somewhere.
Oh, right then, right, ha. Well, my name is Jackson Savant, and I am the captain of this here little fishing fleet. There's just 2 boats out tonight, but sometimes there are more. But we fish these waters for Dire Anglerfish, because their blubber is very nutritious, as is their meat. And they have those lovely glowing bits. And we cut those off and use those for magical purposes. Or is it purposes? I keep getting told off for interchangeably using the word purposes and porpoises. Can be a bit confusing when you're a sea captain. Anyway, you'll be wanting to get yourself some lanterns if you want to. Oh, he's only just come back. I thought he was back already. But anyway, you'll be wanting to get yourself some of those lanterns if you want to be sailing in these waters. Otherwise, those Dire Anglerfish will have everything off your ship deck. Your deck adornments, your crew, your sails, the whole bloomin' lot. They'll take 'em all and chew 'em down to nothing.
What exactly do these lanterns do then, just so we are aware?
Right. Oh well, you're in the fishing waters of a little archipelago, they call it, innit? When you got islands together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we come from. If I can remember my own plot ideas, we come from the island of. I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say it wrong. You see.
Do you come from a land down under?
No, it's not a land down under. It's a land slightly to the west of here.
So
You see.
Where women flow and men plunder.
Well, that's more true than you might imagine, young sir. But we hail from the port of Arrowtide on the Isle of Essex, and Arrowtide is a human settlement on the eastern side of the Isle of Essex. And we do a lot of fishing round here, around the Devil's Mouth, and also off to the east of the Isle of Thrall. And we share our fair island with another settlement called Fairwick, which has been set up in some centuries past by the High Elves. But yes, their city is called Fairwick, and Fairwick named so because of their skill at making lanterns. And that's why we call these here Fairwick lanterns, because they seem to have a magical influence over the dire anglerfish of these waters, which would be incredibly dangerous otherwise and make this place almost unnavigable. But because we have these wonderful Fairwick lanterns from our friends the High Elves, we can fish them. 'Tis a wonderful time to be alive. You see, that now that we have this technology for catching these dire beasties.
Yes, they do seem quite a pain. But if you'd be so kind, some of those that you hunted when you first approached, and also some of them just sort of round the back of our ship, they may contain inside their guts some bits from our deck before you manage to capture them. Can we get them back off you? Well, you can quite happily keep the fish for your hunt, but we just need our belongings back.
Right, well, you did appear to slay a few of the beasts before we arrived. I don't know exactly which ones might have swallowed your apparatus, so to speak, but once we get 'em back to port, we can slice 'em open and see what's inside. We might find some of your cannons in there, but, I don't like your chances, if I'm honest. But I tell you what, they do some really nice hardware in Arrowtide. I bet you could find something even better than what you had before. Like these exploding harpoons. They're bloody brilliant. Did you see how we shot those big fishes out of the air and then hauled them up onto our masts? You could get one of them. Even better than a cannon. Who wants to fire a big iron barrel at something when you can fire a great big spear through its head? Much better.
Well, I personally prefer to set an enemy ship on fire, but that's my own bit. But I think if you go, no offense, I need to clean myself up of this mess. If you'd like to speak to our captain, he should be able to. He probably would be interested in knowing the best routes to Fairwick for one of these lanterns you advise.
Oh right, okay then. Right, well I'll have a word with your captain then. Nice to meet you. I'm sure. Right. Oh bloody hell! It's happened again.
And he's gone to have a word with the captain.
Here we go. I'm back again. Keeps on happening, doesn't it? So are you there, Captain Pontos? He says. Ryan, are you there?
Whilst we wait for a report. Oh, there he is. Is he there?
Yeah, hiya.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, I was on mute and had the volume turned down.
Ah.
Not intentional. I had to come inside to help out with the little one.
No, fair enough. Char was having a chat with Jackson Savant, the captain of the little fishing fleet that were catching the Dire Anglerfish, and then Char decided to go down, go below deck to clean himself up because he's covered in fish guts and shit. And so he kind of put you in the chair and said, "Oh, you should have a chat with our captain." So you are speaking now to Jackson Savant, the fisherman captain. He says, "Oh, hello there. Are you there, Pontos?"
Hello.
"Hello. It's been a long time since I saw you. I bet you don't even remember me."
I ain't got a clue who you are.
"Oh, well, I was in the year below you in school. My older brother might know you, but yeah, we heard this story when I was at school that you said you got your foot bitten off by some kind of legendary sea beast. It didn't half make us laugh. They said that you had to sever your own leg with a parrot."
Yeah, can I just flip my wooden leg on the table and show the parrot little bite mark? Or like the scars of the parrot.
"Oh my goodness! Well, That does kind of look like a severed leg would look if it was severed by the beak of a parrot, I have to say. And he looks at... Let's say it's on your shoulder.
He's going to back me up. He always backs me up.
Yeah. In one bite I did it! Probably not one bite, but he says, "Oh, hell's teeth! I have never seen such a terrifying beast as that parrot. Why, it looks like he's got entrails dangling from his beak and claws even to this day. Is it a haunted parrot?"
It's a fucked up parrot.
Fucked up parrot. Too bloody right it is. Well, anyway, well, it's nice to see you again, even if you don't recognise me. Are you heading back to Arrowtide then?
Yeah, we need to go get one of these lanterns.
That sounds like a very good idea. Well, you know all about Fairwick lanterns, being a child of Arrowtide and all.
Of course. I'm just gonna nod like I remember.
DM forces exposition on player. This is where you come from. Don't you forget it. So, right, well, we've got more fishing to do. I tell you what. What you want to go? What you want to do? We know where we are. We're fine. So I'm gonna let my prize navigator lead you back into port, if that's all right. That'll be my boy here. His name's Hog Appleton. He's gonna show you the way, and then we'll catch up with you later in the port, maybe. And when you get there, maybe you'll go and maybe you want to speak to the mayor. You know, he wasn't the mayor when you were last in town, but the chap who's the mayor now, he's called Northcliffe Spalding. He's the mayor of Arrowtide. And a cantankerous bastard he is too. But anyway, why don't you go and have a chat with him and see what's what.
What was the navigator?
Hawk Appleton, who I shall introduce to you momentarily.
That's not fun.
In the meantime, can I get Deep to remove what this curse thing was, or?
That's Bane. It only lasted for about a minute, so you are fine now. You are not baned anymore. I shall unbane you right now. Unbane. Unbless.
Yeah, bless will probably go as well.
Yep. See, has anybody else got bless? Yep. Ooh, dear, I just baned Char. I didn't mean to bane you. I'm terribly sorry. It's all these buttons, you see. Here we go.
Got exhaustion on me as well.
That will go away when you next have a long rest.
Are they these pirates from Somerset?
Well, I mean, historically, the reason that pirates have that kind of southwestern accent is because they came from the southwest, isn't it?
Yeah, Bristol. That's where they came from.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why it was a big, massive port, Bristol. That's where they made all their money.
Ah, right.
Bristol, Plymouth, Portsmouth, all of that.
Bristol.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna cling to my piratical accent like my life depended on it, 'cause I like it. Anyway, navigator Hawk Appleton climbs aboard your ship, while the fisherman captain, otherwise known as Jackson Savant, and you don't meet the first mate on the other ship, not this time out, but they go off in search of more dire anglerfish, and you have no doubt that they will catch them too.
Could
But
I
yeah,
get a ping off them, please?
you can get a ping off them. They are neither. Well, they are not evil and they are not lawful.
Okay.
So you may not murder them.
Damn.
Frenchy says, I'm sorry to disappoint you. These people here, they are not evil and they are not lawful. They are no good to us at all.
Damn it. Well, at least there's no. oh, I'm going to go to an island where the spiders don't have a clue who I am.
Right.
Famous last words.
Hello there. Name's Hawk. I'm the one who does the navigating. I kind of do the what you call it. I work out where the fishing boats are gonna go.
The navigator.
Yeah, I've been tasked to plot you a course back to the Isle of Essex. It shouldn't be too difficult. All we need to do is sail due west, and then we need to do a bit of a gribbly bit around the Devil's Mouth.
The Devil's Mouth.
Yes, the Devil's Mouth. It's a water feature, you might say. It's like a swirling vortex of doom between the three islands, and any ship caught within it never comes out ever again. At least not in one piece, anyway.
Oh, how lovely.
Oh, it's not so bad. Once you get used to it, you just got to make sure you keep your distance, is all. And we'll have to try and make sure that we sail around it in an anti-clockwise manner. Because if we goes around it in a clockwise manner, then we're more likely to come across the Isle of Doom. The Isle of Dread, the cursed island to the south. We don't want to sail far. We don't want to sail too close to that, because terrible things will happen to us that way as well. Also, we might want to stay clear of Grimrock as well. That's the other island, you see. Grimrock is an orc settlement on the southern tip of the Isle of Thrall. But yeah, we want to avoid that as well, otherwise orc pirates will have us. So, tell you what, maybe I better concentrate when I'm plotting this course, eh? Wait, is there a table somewhere where I can lay my maps out?
I've got a feeling I'm going to have to re-watch this just to get some of these locations and bits down in my notes.
Well, you never know. Someone might have prepared a helpful map. So, what's that?
Do you have a map?
Who are you talking to, anyway?
The navigator.
The navigator? Well, of course I got a map. Wouldn't be a very good navigator if I didn't have a map, would I? I got one of those things that's like a compass, and I got one of those things that you point at the moon or wherever it is. No, it's not the moon, is it?
Sexton?
You get lost if you point it at the moon, because the moon moves about too much. Right. So he goes into the cabin and puts his maps down on the table, and he begins to plot a course. He says, right, I reckon we can be in Arrowtide by dawn. And there's only, I don't know, 15-20% chance that we'll be done over by orc pirates on the way. We might be lucky, you see.
Come on, 15-20%.
Yeah. You know, it'd be like, like if someone rolled a 20 on a D20. Bit 5%. No, that's 5%. No, it'd be like if somebody rolled 16, 17... No, 17, 18, 19 or 20 on a D20. That'd be about 20%, wouldn't it? Maths is really hard. So, Deep has read a detailed book about the Isle of Dread. He'd like to stop there. I'm really scared now. I don't know where he'd get that book. There's probably going to be some canonical purpose. But yes, he begins to use he uses the map, and then he talks to the pilot. Who is piloting the ship? Is it Captain Pontos?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you give us a piloting check or a sea vehicle check or whatever it is.
Oh,
I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say. While this is all going on, I'm gonna be in my room, in the bottle, just prestidigitation, just cleaning and drying and warming myself up after all of that.
How do I do a water check?
Right, let's have a look. So on your character sheet, you should have, since you be a pirate and all, pirate you was meant to be, trim the sails and roam the sea. Right, I'm looking for your character sheet, but I can't find it anywhere. There should be a water vehicles thing on there.
I thought there was.
It won't let me open any character sheets though. I don't know why that's going on. Oh, there it is. You're right up the top of the screen, hidden under the buttons. So if you go down to, yeah, there we go. Left-hand side of your character sheet, or you can do it as a token action. You will have navigator's tools and water vehicles. In fact, if you want, you can do a navigator's tools check to see whether you can come up with a better course than Hawk.
What input value do I do for it? I've got strength, dex.
Which one are you doing? Water vehicles?
Yeah.
I would say this is probably going to be dexterity because you are physically steering the ship. Well, that's not bad. That was a 19. So he says, "Oh, you're a very experienced captain, Pontos. You know what? Did your foot really get eaten by a kraken?"
I did. Almost.
What did it look like, that kraken?
I'm just gonna flail my arms around, trying to give them a rough idea of the size.
Can you give me a performance roll? No, but they told me you were funny. That's very good. I could almost believe that I was within a hair's breadth of the arms of a tentacled monstrosity. Very good. Right. Well, I'm gonna move you on to another map. I hope you can see it. We'll find out in a minute. So, where are we? This one here. Cha-ching! So I might need to zoom in a little bit.
Oh, 3 islands.
I need to make it so that you can read the scrolls. There we go.
Devil's Spine.
So this is Hawk's map. He kind of points at it as you sail along. I need to find the Crimson Dirks map marker. There we go. I need to make a new one. Just a coincidence, not the Island Deep has read about. Oh, okay, cool. So you come in from the east and begin to head west. So here is Grimrock, which is an orc settlement. They have many. You can see ships bristling along the coastline as the pre-dawn light begins to fill up the sky. I am just going to quickly roll something.
Come on, pirates!
Oh, it seems like we're in luck. You managed to sail past Grimrock.
No! I want pirates, damn it!
Oh, you're bound to get some pirates sooner or later. Don't you worry, Baron. I'm going to get Pontos to do another piloting check for me, just for fun.
Thank you.
Ah, you took us clockwise around it.
This is anti-clockwise. Clockwise, he'd have to go underneath, wouldn't he?
Oh, right, okay, because the swirls are going anti-clockwise. I thought you meant as in with the swirls. Okay.
Oh no, I mean, as in, if this circle around the Devil's Mouth was a clock, we are going anti-clockwise currently. Oh dear, that was a poor show. I mean, you are dragged closer to the edge of the Devil's Mouth.
Jesus.
Hawk is like, Pontos, what are you doing? Are you trying to scare me or something? You don't have to get that close to it. Oh, bloody hell.
Can any of our characters generate a breeze or wind to make sure the sails...
Oh, I don't know. You've got a life cleric. If you had a storms cleric, you probably could.
Can we generate some heat? You know, give us a bit of oomph without setting fire to them?
Well, um, luckily, you managed to kind of bounce off the rim of the devil's mouth. I'm not going to hurl you into the devil's mouth. The first time you ever see it, that would be
Oh, don't
that
do
would
it.
be unfortunate. I think fumbles might send you into the devil's mouth, but not today. So I'm just going to talk you through this map here a little bit because Pontos comes from here. This is Pontos's old home. As you know, Pontos is a half-orc. And Pontos was brought up in Arrowtide, I believe, as a fisherman. He is probably the descendant of one of the humans of Arrowtide and one of the orcs of Grimrock, although his family tree is to an extent down to himself. The Isle of Thrall, where Grimrock is a rocky and desolate island where only thistly and sickly and underdeveloped kind of plants grow, and so the orcs of Grimrock raise goats for their milk and also for their fur, and also they are pirates. The Isle of Thrall is also somewhat volcanic, and there is a range of mountains, some of them volcanic, which stretches from north to south in the Isle of Thrall, which is known as the Devil's Spine. There are also some ruins on the Isle of Thrall, which no one has ever really got a very close look at, because the orcs don't really want anybody to interfere with their home. The orcs are a little bit unfriendly, although they do a little bit of trade. Arrowtide is a settlement inhabited by humans, dwarves and halflings, and it has a fishing port. There are some human pirates, but they are mostly fishermen. The other settlement, Fairwick, is inhabited by high elves who use their magic powers to make really good lanterns to protect the local people from dire anglerfish, which are the things that the fishermen fish for. The elves make so much money selling lanterns that they don't really have to have very much in the way of industry, so they can kind of rest on their laurels and enjoy the fruits of their labours. They import expensive things from other places, and they grow some grapes on the island for wine as well. So this is kind of a little bit of a rundown of the economy. The Iron of Dread has ruins upon it and a tall black tower, but nobody really knows very much about them. But that is your current heading. You are now heading towards the port of Arrowtide, and there you find yourselves pulling up. What would you like to do? The sun has started to rise. It looks like it's going to be a very bright and sunny day. You notice that the beach you are about to step off onto is beautiful white sand. There are palm trees. There's kind of some fairly hardy grasses and some quite nice looking mountains.
Okay. For me, I'm just going to be quick here. While I've just been below deck, would there be enough time for either a short or a long rest? And other than that, I'm going to. I'm absolutely crushing it, guys. So I'll catch up on the notes on the rewatch, and I'll let you guys take the lead here, and I can sort of sort it out next week if that's okay.
Yeah, of course, mate. You're right.
Sorry.
You just need a rest. That's all right.
It's just been a long week, so I'm on fumes. So
Fair play, mate.
I'll catch you later. Sorry about this.
That's all right. All right. Oh, well, we have lost Char, but that's okay. Let me just quickly move the camera for Borin so that he's in the right place. There we go. So we can now see Borin in the frame. So Char, possibly taken down by a bout of seasickness, and it is a bit of a quivering wreck. I'm going to say that you did manage. I'm going to say that you managed to have a long rest on the boat. I'm going to say that it took you long enough to sail into the Isle of Issick to have 8 hours of rest, or at least 6 out of the 6 required hours out of 8 while you were sailing. So give yourself a long rest. You have all your abilities back. You are now in the port of Arrowtide, which is the home, the once home of Pontos, Pirate Captain Supreme.
Pontos, are you going to take us to a barn?
A barn?
Bar.
A bar?
Pub.
I'm sure I can find a bar. Hold on. Oh, I'll tell you what.
And I'll just point out we have no Kev, but Char is here and Scald is here.
Oh God, what are you going to do to them?
Yes, let them. They can go into their private room and study. Let me just study.
Yeah, Char wants to show Scald his book.
Yeah.
Pontos, being a captain and all, can you marry people?
Okay, well, I'm gonna reload my ammo. So let's see, magazine ammo. Take that back up to 6. Take that back up to 40 bolts.
No. What do you mean? Take it back up to 40 bolts? You have to buy 40. You have to buy more bolts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought you were just going to change the number back up to 40, which would kind of defeat the object of having all these things to track it for you. You may notice actually that you now have lots of buttons.
Yes.
On
Steve, you wanna? I don't know if you've used your any of your charges for the ring, just to remind you.
Oh yeah, I don't think I have.
Okay, I am going to. Oh, right, where's the long rest? Right. Captain Pontos, where do you think the best place to start is?
It's been a while. I might have to send the parrot out on a scout.
Okay. Well, may I suggest we find the sleaziest, scummiest place on the in the place, and ask for information there.
All right.
If we just happen to kill anyone, that's, you know.
And this isn't about Borin getting a hooker, right?
No, it's not about Borin getting a hooker.
Okay.
Look, I mean, if we're looking for a monster, the best people who will know are the people who probably worship the monsters.
That's true.
So, just a quick reminder for you. So, first of all, just quickly for Borin. So, your heavy crossbow bolts, maximum 40, right?
Yep.
despite what I just said, you filled it up to 40 anyway when there were 19. You can take them from that pool and put them in the magazine ammo, but you don't have magic eternal crossbow bolts. That's not how it works. You have magazines, you have magazine ammo, magazines, and bolts. Okay? So you can carry 40 bolts at a time, but if you want to have more bolts, you have to fill them up. You bought 2 quivers. You shot 3 times. You refilled your magazine. You now have buttons to allow you to do this when you have a token on the map. So when you shoot, the magazine ammo goes down. When your magazine ammo hits 0, you spend an action to swap magazines. There's a button for that. There is also a button for refilling magazines, which will take heavy crossbow bolts and put 6 of them. 6 of those will disappear and you will end up with 1 spare magazine. So basically you have a button for refilling magazines, which takes 1 minute, and you have a button for changing magazines, which takes 1 action. Okay?
Okay, right.
So you will need to, if you want 40 heavy crossbow bolts in that box there, you will need to go and buy 24 heavy crossbow bolts. You can't just fill it up because 24 crossbow bolts didn't appear out of the sky. Okay?
Okay, yeah, no, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, right. Okay then. I'm not going to take the reins. This isn't my campaign. It's Pontos'. So Pontos, Captain Pontos. You look for your leadership.
There are a number of bars in Arrowtide.
People can do what they want when we land. I'm pretty easy.
So we've heard. I am going to use the fantasy name generator to give me some names of taverns, because I hadn't got as far as tavern names. Some of these are very funny. I'm having that one. So let's use... Oh no! So how many... Can somebody roll me a D3 and add 1? Well, that's disappointing.
You know, I roll a D3 for you, and then you criticize the result.
Oh, I'm very sorry. It's no reflection on you. It's just the luck of the dice. Some of these are really stupid. Okay. Okay. So there are 2 taverns near the coast in Arrowtide. There may be others. Arrowtide is actually a bustling and quite large settlement which houses probably a few hundred, if not a few thousand people. So you would definitely need more than a handful of taverns. But the first couple of taverns that you come across are the Hidden Pirate Tavern and the Impossible Pie Tavern.
Impossible pie.
I mean, I gotta see what that pie is.
Yeah.
Okay. The Impossible Pie Tavern is slightly run down. There is a swinging sign which moves gently in the early days breeze and catches the sun as it begins to launch itself into the sky. What you see is tavern sign art, which appears to show a kind of a pie crust in a dish, but out of the edges of it there are numerous octopoid tentacles and like a beak coming out of the middle of the pie. for somebody raised on the seaside, that's probably an indication of some kind of seafood-based pie creation, which may be their signature dish, or it may just be a clever name come up with by a drunk person who really needed to name their tavern at short notice. Who can say?
Huh. Okay. Well, I want to head in and just say to the bartender, I'd like a slice of your impossible pie.
Oh, good morning, sir. Right, well, you've come to the right place if you want to try some impossible pie. Right, well, the chef has just fired up the oven, so I'll bring you out some impossible pie as soon as it's ready. Would you like some ale with that, or would you prefer some coffee since it's quite early? I make no judgment. It's just not everybody wants a beer at about 6:20 in the morning.
Yeah, I'd like some coffee with my pie.
Sure thing. Okay. So there's water boiling. He begins to busy himself behind the bar. He takes down some stools from tables. Quite often these bars, well, sometimes the tables don't, the stools don't even get up onto the tables, because people stay there all night and all day. But obviously they've had a bit of a quiet evening. There's hardly any empties left on the tables. You know, it's actually quite neat and tidy. You're the only patrons. Would you like to find yourselves a table, or do you want to stand at the bar?
I'll sit myself down at the biggest table in the place.
Cool. Okay, well, there are some booths around the sides which have the biggest tables. They're rectangular, with benches alongside them. In the middle of the table, in the middle of the space, there are some circular tables with bar stools around them. Most of them would probably sit 3 or 4 people, but be a little bit cramped. There is a dance floor too. It is quite pocked and looks like it's probably been used for brawling more than dancing in recent times, at least. You find yourselves a nice big table to sit at, and before long, coffee appears at your table in a tall, what's the word? A tall ceramic jug, with little cups, which are, they have tiny little handles, which you could barely get your fingers through. They look sort of a bit continental, as if you're supposed to pick it up like this, you know, in a really awkward fashion, and you'd have to support the cup with the other hand. But yes, coffee appears, and then impossible pie appears. The impossible pie appears to be some kind of seafood medley. It clearly contains octopus, squid, some kind of fish which reminds you of tuna, and also another kind of fish flesh that you do not immediately recognize.
Oh, good. I'll take a big old bite. How is it?
Well, depends if you like seafood, really.
Well, as long as it's not rotten deep into it, he's gonna say, good job, lads, and dig on in.
Yeah, it is incredibly fresh. It is possibly some of the freshest seafood you've ever eaten. I'd say that the lid of the pie is kind of a puff pastry sort of lid. It's almost like it's a seafood stew, just kind of topped off with puff pastry in a ceramic dish. So it's kind of, it's the kind of thing that some pubs over here will call a pie, but to me, a pie has to have a bottom and a top and sides. It has to be a fully enclosed thing, if you ask me. But then I think English people have a different idea what a pie is to the rest of the whole world, possibly. So,
Yeah, when we make a pie, we usually put fruit in it.
yeah, but I mean, in Europe you get lots of pie. I mean, in Europe they would probably translate pie as tart or taut or something like that. But in the UK, a pie tends to be something fully wrapped in pastry. It is just as likely to be savoury as it is sweet. So yeah, we have. I remember I went out with a Polish girl years ago, and she was parts horrified and parts delighted that you could get something called a chicken pie, and she kept calling it a chicken cake. She was saying, "Oh, are you enjoying your chicken cake?" It's like, yeah, the joys of language. Anyway. But yes, it is actually delicious. I personally do not enjoy seafood very much, but to those that do, this would be an excellent pie. The slimy stuff is never really quite sure what that is. I guess that's just kind of like the reduced broth of the juices that come out of the things in it. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good, and the coffee. The sharpness of the coffee and the slight and the soft fishy flavours of the pie seem to mingle together excellently upon your palate. Does anyone else order food or drinks?
I'll have food and drinks, but I will ping the place. We're looking for information, but that's probably not going to go from a guy in a coffee shop or pub.
You're going to ping the place, right? Frenchie, you kind of push your finger onto the jewelled hilt of. Sorry.
I just need the crystal result.
Yeah.
Frenchie's getting out.
Well, I am somewhat hurt that you do not want to report in person. I will send it to you psychically, like this. And he kind of, the head kind of looks at you. And you get the impression that if it had fingers, it would be giving you one, but as in giving you a finger, not the other interpretation that I suddenly realised you could have taken from that. But yes, so Frenchie pings into your head that it doesn't detect lawful or evil or lawful evil.
Damn it! This is just a nice coffee shop.
I'm sure there will be. He says it quietly, sort of on the edge of your consciousness. He doesn't have to shout it out loud. He can just make himself heard only to you. Well, this is quite a nice place. I do not even know why you would be looking for evil people here. This is quite classy. They have impossible seafood pies and coffee. There's nothing evil about that. Not even lawful. A lawful person would not put octopoids and fishes in the same pie. It would be madness to do such a thing. This is clearly a neutral, chaotic establishment.
I'm just seeing if it was too good to be true.
Well, you never know. Maybe there are some lawful evil people in their basement.
Yeah, it's like a speakeasy, like that kind of thing. I was just checking.
Wow, if you had a speakeasy in a licensed establishment, what would be going on downstairs? Because the activity upstairs is already permitted, so what goes on downstairs? What, like, mermaid strippers or something like that? Sounds good. I think you should try and find out what is downstairs forthwith. Maybe we can sneak away. Maybe we can sneak away when the barman comes and asks if they want more coffee. We'll sneak down the bar hatch. We will find those mermaid strippers. Yes? What do you say?
Don't you have like a Z or Y axis for your 30 feet?
Well, yes, it goes downstairs as well.
Okay, there you go then.
Oh, I see your point. I did not detect anything lawful or evil downstairs either. But there might be chaotic neutral mermaid strippers. You never know. You know, I do not mind some nice Melusine, yes?
I admire your attempt, Frenchie. I admire. I'm just giggling into my pie right now. Oh. I admire the effort, Frenchie, but we need the wrong type of people to get us the information.
Oh, well, maybe we will find some lawful evil people here yet. You never know. You never know where you will find lawful evil. Usually in local government. That's normally where the lawful evil people are. Yes, and yes, if we do not find lawful evil people in local government, then I give up. I will just sun myself on a beach and look at naked mermaids, you know. But you have to find the mermaids, yes?
Okay, Frenchie's being a Frenchman. I'll tell you what, I'll find you a nice, if you help me find the bad guys, we'll find you a nice little axe, and we can put you in the same, the same holder together.
Oh, yes, that sounds like a good plan. Anyway, right, I will just go back to my private musings, and we will see what the other members of the party have to say, eh? And he kind of quietens down a bit. Nobody else sitting at the table heard any of that because that was a private conversation with Borin. Borin was just laughing at nothing apparently whilst eating his pie. What was Karuruk up to?
I'm going to have a drink and sit down by deep and maybe. But I'm going to drink my drink, have my food, then I'm going to go out into town and sneak around and see if there's any sort of priests or anything that I can chat with.
Okay, so we'll come back to that then. On to Captain Pontos. What have you to say?
Question.
What is the question?
No, that is a good question. What do I say?
Oh.
We've docked, haven't we? Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're in a bar, restaurant, cafe place. A couple of the members of the party are enjoying some impossible pie, which is a creation combining a multitude of different seafoods.
Ask for they do a little pie challenge, so I'm gonna ask for the pie, all the pies.
Oh, hold on. I seem to have got stuck on French. Let me fix that. Oh, right there. You want to try the pie challenge? I tell you what, the only person ever to win the pie challenge was this young lad. He was a half orc. He was. Oh, hold on. He kind of looks a bit like you. There was this lad. He came in bold as brass. He had 2 legs though, and he came in and he said, "Right, I'm going to eat all the pies," and I named this bar after him. We used to just be called the Pie Tavern, the Sea Pie Tavern, and then yeah, we had he ate all the pies on the menu. He did in one go. And so I renamed the place the Impossible Pie Tavern. But the Impossible Pie is also our signature dish because it combines a variety of different seafood things. So you would like to do the Impossible Pie Challenge, would you?
Yes, please.
Right then. So I'll have to bring you out a selection of our freshest pies, and you will have to try and eat one of each. So I think we better clear the table, make a bit of space. Here we go. So, back in a minute. He goes and he comes back. He comes back with an enormous pie. It has heavy pastry on it. It's not puffed pastry. It's not that kind of light pastry. This is, kind of heavy, full-on pastry. He says, right, here we go. Here's your first pie. And he puts it down. He says, right, this is shark fin pie. Good luck. So what you need to do is eat this pie and the next 4 pies, the whole lot, within 1 hour. And if you do, then your meal is free. I'd be very impressed if you did it. I'm going to get you to do a Constitution roll. The first Constitution DC is not going to be very high, but they're going to go up in stages. It's an unexpected skill challenge. Oh, that's very impressive. You put that away in about 5 minutes. I'm very impressed. Right, I'm going to go and get the octopus pie now. I think the octopus is dead. He's definitely been in the cooking pot. He might have survived. You never know. Right, here we go. He takes one platter away, and in less than a minute he comes back with another massive pie, places it on the table in front of you. Right, good luck. Fire away. Let's have another Constitution save. Oh my goodness, I think you did that even quicker than the last one. I'm getting flashbacks. Right, okay. He takes the platter away.
Start cheering and clapping and casting thaumaturgy and being like, behold, the amazing bottomless half-orc.
Oh, that's a good name for a pub. Maybe I should rename it. Hold on. He goes and gets the next pie. So you've had the shark fin pie and the octopus pie. This one is the piranha pie. Says, right, these are saltwater piranhas. You better eat them before they eat you. Hey, I see that every time. It never gets tired. Right, here we go. Constitution save, please.
I want to start on taking bets on him to finish.
Oh, you didn't do quite so well that time, but you did pretty well. All right. Right, I'm going to go away. I'm going to bring back another pie. Says, right, here we go. This is... Damn it, what kind of fish did I say it was?
Piranha.
That was the last one. Right, this one is a tuna steak pie. It's incredibly dense. You'll need the teeth of a bloody shark to get through this one.
You got this, Pontos. Chew.
Go, Ponto.
Oh my goodness, I can't quite believe it. I've never seen anyone eat a tuna steak pie quite as quickly as that. That was bloody amazing. Okay, right, there's only one more pie remaining. And that is the Dire Anglerfish pie. It might glow a bit strangely, but it'll be delicious all the same. Here it comes! And he brings it, puts it down on the table in front of you and says, right, go at it, lad. You might be the only person who's got this far. Go on! Oh my goodness, he's done it! Oh! So,
Oh, what?
what's your name, lad?
Captain Pontos.
Captain Pontos! I knew it was you! Welcome back, son. Right, I'll go and get you a t-shirt, and obviously the pies are on the house. I hope you enjoyed that.
That's it.
I've never seen an ability to eat pie like it. It's almost amazing that it hasn't come out in all these years of role-playing with this party. You're empowered to eat pies. Okay, very good. So Pontos has won a pie eating challenge. He has won a t-shirt and his meal was free. However, tale of his ability to swallow pie may well make their way beyond this humble establishment. Kararuk searching for a priest. Let's see. There are a few temples. A lot of them are to gods of the sea. There is an unusual kind of outdoor. There's a temple which looks like it's a straw hut. I've just realised that your whole crew should probably be in here with you. Maybe they're doing things with the ship, but they'll catch up with you later. This weird temple is like a straw hut with unusual designs in front of it, which if you had any interest in voodoo, you would recognise as veves, which are it's normally a diagram drawn around a two bisecting lines. So it's kind of doesn't look like a target, but it's kind of a circular design with a cross through the middle of it. That does not do it justice, but a veve is like a cool kind of sigil used in voodoo. There is a woman who you might recognise as Chelton if you knew the ethnicities of the world of Aber Toril and the Forgotten Realms. Based on your knowledge of geography, Chult is probably quite a long way to the south of here. So anybody from Chult who was here had to travel a very long way to get here. I am going to show you who the priestess is that you see. And hopefully I will get the right map layer at some point. There we go. So here we go. So this is a priestess of Chult, who I am going to give voodoo stylings to.
Very nice.
And really hoping this isn't intensely problematic. I'm hoping that this is nice. She says, "Ah, hello, strange dark one. You are in search of a priestess. How can I help you?"
No one's called me a dark one for a long time. I think I'm quite pale. Where are you getting that idea from?
Oh, I speak not of the color of your skin, but of a darkness that comes from within you.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I can try. Sit here. She points at a patch of ground next to the entrance of her little straw temple. She says, "I am Madela Celeste Dupre, and I am a priestess of the god Ubteao, and others, but my god is far from me, and his voice is very quiet in my ears. However, the spirits speak to me."
Your god, what does he represent?
He represents the balance of all things.
Okay, it sounds like an interesting god. This is going to sound strange, but I have spoken to a god before. Do you think you can meditate or something to see if you can invoke his spirit?
You wish to speak to my god?
Yes.
Oh. Why would my god want to speak to you?
Yeah, let's say I'm in demand at the moment.
Maybe I will meditate on this. I am not sure if I am prepared to call him forth here. You are a brave man if you wish to speak to gods. having already spoken to one. Usually people speak to one god and never want to speak to one again. They bow their heads in silent prayer until the day they die. They do not want to hear their god's voice, not while they live.
Yeah, he wasn't strictly my god yet.
Oh,
But he's given me some choices, and I think the god you represent might help.
huh. I wonder what he would have to say about that. What brings you to this place?
My friend Pontos, I'm out to help him, but here in particular, I'm just searching for some answers.
You are a friend of Captain Pontos.
I am indeed.
Oh, it is him who has done all this mischief.
Yes.
Well,
Captain Pontos' fault.
it's all his fault. Next time he comes against some titanic force of nature that comes from the deep, tell him to throw himself into its jaws. It will save us much more trouble.
Well, I thought Captain Pontos was a famous hero around here.
Exactly. Yes. Well, there are two stories about Captain Pontos.
This is interesting.
One is the story of a fool who nearly drowned upon a fishing ship and lost his leg, and who was a laughing stock because he claimed to have been attacked by some powerful creature of the deep. The one who was a laughing stock of his peers and ran away to become a pirate captain to escape the shame. This is one story, and this is the story you will hear most often.
I don't know if I believe that story.
The other story is of the bravest of men, who excised his own leg when he was trapped in the mouth of a god of the sea, used a parrot to cut his own leg off as a man opens a can of beans, so that he could escape and warn others. And he, the great hero of the deep, the one who sacrificed his foot into the very jaws of oblivion, it is he who I remember.
That sounds much more like my friend.
Mm.
I'm very confused of why you wouldn't believe a guy was attacked by a giant sea monster when most of you go fishing for giant sea monsters. I'm very confused by that.
It is like I hear a voice, but I cannot hear it. Ah.
I don't know where that voice is coming from.
Yes. But yes, something terrible has happened. This token, this discarded part of the man, the great hero of the sea, the man who should have statues built to him.
What's actually happened to his leg?
Well, it has been imbued with the deepest evil. Have you heard of the Eye of Vecna?
No.
The Eye of Vecna. The great necromancer Vecna lost his eye and his hand before he transcended into becoming a great god. A god of death. And those vestiges left in the world became cursed and powerful artifacts. Well, something like this should not happen to a commonplace fisherman. But in this strange world, there is no limit to the indignities that we must suffer. And so, the foot of a fisherman doomed to die in the jaws of some monster of the deep has become imbued with powers of terrible darkness.
Let me guess. Let me get this right. So this leg that was swallowed by a kraken, possibly, has been claimed by the Eye of Victus.
No. I merely wish to give you an example of a cursed artifact that was made from a discarded body part. It has nothing to do with Vecna. At least I
That's
don't think it does. So we have the hand and the eye of Vecna, and we have the cursed foot of Captain Pontos.
Why is it cursed? Where is it?
Well, if I knew that, I would not have sent my friend Tia to find adventurers to help me find it.
You know Tia?
Why, of course. She is my good and dear friend.
Now it's going to get. Tia is also our good friend who we've met a few times.
Oh, isn't she a delight?
I like her, but there's other people in our party who don't. Who's terrified of her.
I can't think
I
why.
don't know why. Yeah, she's lovely. Okay, well.
She's really nice and so good with children.
Okay, and what's your name again?
My name is Mardella Celeste Dupre, but
Okay,
you may
thank
call me Mardella.
Martella. Okay, thank you, Martella. I think I might bring my party back here. We might have some more questions for you. May bring Tia along with us.
Very good. Tyr is always welcome. In the meantime, I will meditate and see whether Ubteo would like to speak to you.
I'm going to
May-
go back.
Maybe he would know more about you than I do. Anyway,
Yeah.
farewell, Dark
Yeah,
One.
well, Martella, and I think your God may want to talk to me. We'll see.
Okay.
You might be surprised. So, all right, I'm going to go back to the party and catch up with Deep, Char, Boren, and take them to the side and say, have you heard of, do you know actually what's happened to Pontos' leg? I've got an idea.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Okay, and our friend Tia, she's very friendly with a priestess around here called Martia, who's just told me about Pontos' very, very cursed leg. So cursed, she likened it to the Eye of Ventros.
Vecna.
Do you know anything about this eye? You seem to know a lot more about it than I do. Something we should get worried about.
I recall. Sorry, you go
Go
first.
ahead. Go ahead.
I think this is something like if you take out your own eye and put in the eye of Idros, it gives you some buffs. And similar to the hand. Otherwise, I might be mistaking this with another mystical item I've heard about. But I also heard the story about this is somebody convinced someone that there was a head of Idros, so they convinced their opposition to remove their head. Their own head to put it on. It didn't work.
Hashtag who is Idros? But yes, I think we'll probably leave it there for tonight because we've got all the way to 11:30.
I'm not going to mention the other story about him falling off his boat.
Well, we can dig into it more next time. In the meantime, let's rattle off our awards. I don't know where it's doing that. Stop that, you. Start again. First kill. So first kill goes to
Deep.
Deep. There we go. Deep is the first one to kill a dire thingamajig. Kill of the week.
Did we only kill one of them?
I think you
I
killed
killed-
2 or 3.
I killed
Yeah.
one.
I think kill of the week is probably getting that massive crit on with the spiritual weapon. That was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. So Deep as well.
Yep. Yoink.
Goes to Deep.
Hell yeah.
Kill from the grave. There was some bleed damage, but he didn't actually finish it off. Damage dealer.
That was me. That was definitely me this time.
Oh, how do we do? So,
84 in one turn.
okay, yeah, I think that
121.
probably does it. Yeah, if you did 84 in a single turn, we will go with that, I think. Best supporting role. I'm not sure if there was a lot of support going on in this session.
No, I wouldn't say so. Not a single heal.
There was a bless in the last one, but that was the previous session, so we won't worry
Yeah.
about that one. Fumble of the week. I think there was only one player fumble. That was Char, but he invalidated it by using his inspiration. So I think we will probably not count that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a role player of the week.
Let's give it a Pontos for the pie eating competition.
Yes, why not? That was very much off the cuff, and I loved that.
I liked it too.
Yeah. Okay, so Pontos the Pie Eater, role player of the week. Whose side are you on? Did we have any friendly fire this session? I don't think we did.
Only in the form of the frost beam.
Oh, that's friendly fire. Okay, Kararuk gets that one then. So Kararuk zapped Char with the frosty attack. I can't remember what it was called now. Pincushion, who took the most damage this session?
I don't really. I think there wasn't any major blows. I didn't take anything. I think it was getting Pontos got chomped on, and Char got digested a bit.
Yeah, Char. Well, both Char and Pontos took quite a lot of damage in this fight. I'm going to see if I can find any of it up here. So Rhymes Binding Ice was that spell. Pontos got bitten for 27. Fira got bitten for 19. Somebody else got bitten, surely. I'm sure Pontos got bitten with advantage, but I can't seem to find it. But I think that might have been. I think Char might have been our pincushion of the week.
Okay.
Pontos took 27. Oh, maybe it was Pontos I was looking at. I'm sure Char got bitten as well. No, Char got digested a bit, didn't he? Char took 12, Pontos took 27. So pincushion this week is Pontos.
Anymore. Yeah,
There we go. That's it. So we've now introduced your kind of current setting for the campaign. I hope you'll excuse the child drawing of islands. Sort of looks a bit like a finger painting, doesn't it? But that's what you got. We will obviously drill down into various locations here that you will be able to explore as we go along.
Woohoo!
In the meantime, have a lovely week, guys, and I will catch you all in a week's time.
See you next week, guys.
You guys have a good weekend.
Cheers. Bye.